Good morning, and welcome to the November 13th edition of the Carlisle Forum. I'm Doug Stevenson. I'm pleased to be here, a former selectman here in Carlisle, and it's always great to be back with my friends at the Council on Aging and guests to participate in this forum. It's a beautiful traditional November day here in Carlisle, and I'm sure everybody's surprised at how quickly we approach the holiday season, which comes fast every year. We have a great program for you today, and a wonderful guest speaker. I'll first start by introducing our panel here at the table. Down at the end is Peg Gladstone, who is a member of the Carlisle Council on Aging. You're actually a director. The Friends of the Carlisle Council on Aging director. Not director?
Not director.
Okay. Well,
board member, but
board
I guess
member.
maybe they could call us directors.
You're all directors.
That works.
Good.
Then we're all directors, yes. Sorry.
Welcome, Peg.
Thank you.
In addition, we have Angela Smith, who is the Carlisle Council on Aging Outreach and Program Manager. Welcome, Angela. Great to see you as always. And of course, David Klein, who is the Carlisle Council on Aging Director. Got that part right. And to my immediate right is Mary Ellen King, who's today's guest speaker, who's going to be speaking in a few moments. So again, welcome everyone, and glad to have you all here. I think to start off, David's got a few words for us, so take it away.
Thank you so much, Doug, and thank you for hosting. Mary Ellen, thank you for being here, and Peg as well. I want to start off by just wishing everybody happy holidays. I'm not sure when this is going to be broadcast, so if it's by Thanksgiving, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving from the Council on Aging, from the staff and our board and our friends group. Also, I'd be remiss if the top of mind item for me is our Veterans Day event that we had this past Saturday. So 2 days ago, it was the road race. It was the third running of the Carlisle Council on Aging road race, and we had wonderful participation from several different groups in addition to the COA within Carlisle. We had our friends group helping us out. We had our COA board members, Jerry Lehrman, Maxine Crowthers, Verna Gilbert. I feel like this is Academy Awards where I'm going to forget somebody, but everybody was so helpful. But in addition to that, we had a wonderful flag raising ceremony in honor of Veterans Day. Doug Stevenson, who's our hosting today, was very active in making that happen. Because in addition to being a former selectman here in Carlisle, he's also a Carlisle Scoutmaster. And so we had the Boy Scouts who led the flag raising ceremony itself. And also we had wonderful participation for singing the national anthem by the Carlisle Community Chorus.
Great.
And I know they were happy to be there, and we were really happy to be there to have them. And also some of the other volunteers that were there helping us with the race were former chorus members who've gone on to high school and bigger and better things, and some may even be in college, but they were there as kind of alumni groups. I also want to thank the Carlisle PTO, specifically Amy Caggiano and Diane Tropoli, who are respectively the chair of the PTO this year and the chair of the volunteer group. And it was really wonderful having another group help us with that this year. They brought a different level of activism for. We pegged this as an intergenerational event, and truly they brought the intergenerational to intergenerational event. So that was wonderful. And also the National Charity League, Catherine Koenig, for getting additional volunteers for the race. We had about 112 people run it, and we must have had 30 volunteers. So in addition, all in all, we probably had close to 150 people involved. Wow. And for such a cold day on a Saturday morning in November, it was truly a wonderful event. So thank you all again. And
It was a cold day to run, and I know the scouts were concerned about frostbite on their hands after raising that flag. So
they didn't have coats on. It was impressive watching them without any accoutrements on top. Yeah, you could clearly see that they were the scouts. So yeah,
they're prepping for their winter trips.
Tough guys. That was great. The rest of us were bundled up that were outside. You kind of had to be, especially if you're standing around directing the runners. Anyway, thank you all. A job well done. And before jumping into our events, I guess, do we have anything else that you want to talk about up
No,
front?
I know we want to get Peg on early.
Okay, well, let's just jump to Peg then.
Okay, thank you. So I am here representing the Friends of the Carlisle Council on Aging, and most people do know probably what we are all about, but for the few that don't, I'd like to just tell you what we are about. And so it's a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization, and we're committed to promoting the health and well-being of seniors in our community. So we provide the funds to the Council on Aging to help support programs that would otherwise not be possible. And some of the programs that we've helped do or enable have been providing fuel assistance and food certificates to qualified seniors. We subsidize the podiatry and the blood pressure clinics. We subsidize the exercise classes. And we underwrite some of the medical equipment and services and conduct monthly breakfasts, luncheons, and socials. We purchase large print publications and audiobooks for the library, and we provide support for the COA transportation operations. And we also co-sponsor some cultural events with the Friends of the Gleason Public Library. And on this Wednesday is the last of the music program for November, and that one was on Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms. And unfortunately, as I said, the last one is this Wednesday. But in the new year, what we have coming up is the 14th annual Carlisle Cultural Lecture Series of 2018, which is kind of amazing to say. And we're going to have Jane Blair, who is an artist, an educator, and owner of the Arts Matters organization, and she is going to present the Wednesday Cultural Lecture Series on women artists. And so what I would encourage folks to do is to register as soon as possible. The registration will start January 15th, and everyone should register for it. And even if there is a wait list, please get on the wait list, because very often someone will cancel at the last minute, and then you can get off the wait list.
The good news is about the art series is we always hold that at St. Irene.
That's right.
So we almost never have a wait
Oh.
list because we can seat about 100 people.
Well, that's fabulous. And so one of the other things I want to say is right now in this beginning season of giving, you will actually be receiving here in town our annual newsletter and annual appeal. And so hopefully people will be able to support us financially as generous as they have in the past. And then obviously we turn around and support the Council on Aging with all these wonderful programs. So thank you. And for your generosity in the past, and I guess I am pre-thanking you for your generosity in the future.
I wanted to add in that I forgot to mention that December was the kickoff of the annual drive for the Friends group, and to thank you guys for all that you do for us. It's wonderful. We get this block grant, and it really the beginning of the year for all these different categories that Peg enumerated, and it makes the job that Angela and I do that much easier. And to put it bluntly, we probably couldn't do some of the programs without it.
Well, thank you, David, and we're thanking all the people that are generous in town. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving
Thank
to
you,
you
Peg.
too, Peg.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Peg. We appreciate you being here and all the work that you and the Friends do for the Council on Aging.
Thank you, Doug.
At this point, we'd like to give a warm welcome to Mary Ellen King. Mary Ellen is the Director of Community Relations for Senior Living Residences. And since 2006, she's been involved in their Brain Healthy Cooking program. And she has a background in education and currently is very involved in advocacy and education for elders. So today's topic is all about brain healthy cooking and eating. And we'll let Mary Ellen take it away.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for thinking of me and inviting me. I've met both of you a few years back when we came to Irene and did a brain healthy cooking presentation years ago, or a couple years ago.
It was St. Irene, I do
Right.
remember that.
Yeah, and that was quite successful. And we're coming back in March to work with you again. So thank you.
That's quite the food pyramid that you
So,
have there.
yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is have a little bit of fun. I brought you each a bracelet. And I'd like you to open this rubber bracelet and put it on. Either hand, it doesn't matter, whatever you're more comfortable. And the bracelet says, feed your brain. And then it says brainhealthy.org, which is our website for everything we're going to talk about today. So if you miss something, simply go on to brainhealthy.org and you can follow up on the information that I'm providing today. So as Doug said, I work for a company called Senior Living Residences. We're out of Braintree, Massachusetts. We've been in the business of managing assisted living for about 26 years now. The principals of the company are wonderful people that want education to be in the forefront. So it was a perfect fit for me to work with a company that felt that advocacy and education for communities, for anyone, any age really, is important, and that's my value. One of the innovative ideas senior living residents came up with back in 2006 was this brain healthy cooking. So we were the first assisted living to implement the program, but as we go on, year and year and year go by, we take the program and we build on it. We take it and we learn from what we experience. Most of all of our 15 locations in Massachusetts assisted living communities do offer this way of eating. So one thing, I think, Doug, you asked me this before, do you have to eat this way if you live at one of our residences? And the answer is no, it's all choice. We offer this way of eating because it's the right thing to do. We offer it because it's a whole body health. So it was based on the Mediterranean diet, which I have the pyramid over here. And everyone take a look at that large banner at the bottom of the pyramid. What do we see there? Anybody?
Rain, veggies, and fruit.
People dancing?
People dancing, great.
yeah,
What else?
And walking and
Walking.
playing sports.
Yeah. So that's a real important component of this program. Why? It's an important component because not only eating healthy, but exercising, engaging in meals with other people is really important. And who knows that better than our seniors? At the COA, I always talk with people that say, oh, it's tough when I go home because I'm by myself. We want to encourage people to grab neighbors, grab friends, shop together, eat together, because that's very healthy to be engaged with other people. Very healthy. And of course, dancing is great movement. I just learned about 2 weeks ago, I went to a conference for Alzheimer's and dementia, and one of the best things that anyone can do for good mind exercise is actually, anyone want to take a guess?
Dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Ballroom dance.
Absolutely. Angela, how did you guess that?
Because we have a volunteer who teaches ballroom dancing.
Well, you're doing all the right things. So why is ballroom dancing really great for whole body health, especially your mind? Because
You have to remember the steps.
exactly, and you're also engaged with someone, so there's a little bit of that emotional bond there, and you're dancing and remembering and learning steps, so you're using your mind. So that first square of the pyramid is considered the largest because it's just as important as what you eat. So then we talk a little bit about fruits, vegetables, grains, mostly all whole grains. We talk about oils, olive oils. Everybody uses virgin olive oil at your table. You cook with it. Well, you should be. That's good. And certainly beans and nuts, legumes are types of beans that are very, very healthy for our brain healthy cooking, as well as seeds, herbs, and spices. And Angela reminded me she needs more spices. So I brought spices today. These are 2 spices that senior living residences actually designed and implemented way back in 2003. It's a pure cinnamon. Anyone want to guess why cinnamon is so good for you?
Antioxidant?
Close.
Close.
So
Anti-inflammatory?
very good, Angela. She's heard me speak before. So it really, a teaspoon of cinnamon can actually help your blood flow a little bit better through your body. So if you happen to have a sore or an inflammation, the cinnamon's going to help the blood flow through that sore or that inflamed area. So just 1 teaspoon of cinnamon can really help you. So maybe a teaspoon in your coffee, your tea, your oatmeal, your yogurt. It's great. So there's your cinnamon that you asked.
Growing up, I don't know how I started doing this. I regularly put cinnamon on my scrambled eggs in the morning. I don't do it now, but when I was younger, for whatever reason, every morning I would have scrambled eggs with cinnamon. So hopefully,
That's great.
hopefully I did something right.
As long as it's the pure cinnamon. My husband would always say, I'm using that cinnamon today, honey, and he'd get out the Bayer, the sugar cinnamon that we used when our kids were little, and I'd say, no, that's no good. Sugar's the worst possible thing we can use, so we want to keep that out. And Spice of Life Senior Living Residence is designed as well. This is almost like a 17-spice that we would love you to be able to use as an alternative to table salt and use it in all your cooking. We have it on every table at every one of our assisted living communities in our dining rooms. And it's 17 different healthy spices. Take the salt off the table and put this on your table. So there's another good tip for you. So why did senior living residents come up with this program? We came up with this program because we really wanted to help diminish the onset of Alzheimer's. And this was one way that we could give back and try to come up with a program. We partnered with a company, as I said, Old Ways, and they've helped us over the years study it, find ways to mature it, find ways to improve the program. And the other thing that we find really, really exciting is most of our residents really love the food. And at an age of average age of our residents, about 86 years old, eating's an important part of their day. And the socializing with other people is important. They're with a community, and they're enjoying good food. And as I said, it's all choice. They don't have to choose to eat this way. So after we go through the whole grains and the nuts and the oils and the beans and the herbs and the spices, we're going to talk a little tiny bit about the fish and the seafood. We actually serve fish in all of our communities 9 to 11 times a week. So we're offering good protein, good fish for our residents, as opposed to all those red meats, which aren't so great, as we all know. Poultry and eggs and cheese and yogurt are a smaller portion of the Mediterranean diet, followed by the very top, which we see up there. What do we see up there?
Meats and sweets.
Meats and sweets. So they are the worst thing that we can use for whole body health as well as brain health. It's been proven through most of our studies that sugars are the absolute worst. So we recommend no sugars, and we recommend going with a coconut sugar, or maybe using honey or the cinnamon or blackstrap molasses is a good alternative. You can use it for cooking and baking, and certainly use it as a spread on as well. So why is sugar so bad? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
It's a simple carbohydrate, so it breaks down in your body much quicker.
You're right on target, David. And it actually goes to the hippocampus, which is a part of your brain, in the back of your brain, and the hippocampus is responsible for all of our short-term memory. So that's what we see go first when people are starting to develop Alzheimer's or dementia. So that hippocampus, the sugars just eat away at it, and it almost ends up being like a piece of cheese with a lot of holes in it. So you notice when people start to become forgetful or get cognitive impairment, they're noticing that their short-term memory is going. So eliminate the sweets. So when people come into our communities and they're visiting their loved ones and they bring the box of chocolates, I just hold my hands up and I say, no, fresh fruit, please don't bring the sugary items. So eliminate those.
And sugar is addictive at some level as well.
It's absolutely addictive. And it's in so many things. As you can see on the side, we'll talk a little bit about water and wine. The good news is you can have a glass of wine if you're still eating healthy. But to get back to meats, we recommend on this program that you only indulge in red meats once a month.
Wow.
And it's that fatty part of the meat that is responsible for whole body, not helping with whole body health, that fatty, the red parts of the meat that are just so unhealthy for you. So that's why we choose and elect to offer fish and seafoods 9 to 11 times a week. Now, again, if a resident doesn't want to eat this way, they don't have to. So wine in moderation is fine. According to the Mediterranean diet, which again is European, 2 glasses of wine, red wine, a day is okay. Anybody know what the amount would be? Take a guess.
6 ounces?
6 ounces?
I'd
Angela?
say 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
For 2 glasses, or?
Or 1 glass of wine?
Oh, I was
Before.
thinking 2,
Well,
3 ounces
you're
each.
really you're on target, because
Okay.
you're right, it's about 4 ounces. So
Okay.
it's 8 ounces a day, so you could do that. The bad news is, if you drink more than that, it will not help with the Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's kind of a, if I do, if I don't. 2 glasses a day is okay. Anything more than that is not healthy for your memory and for Alzheimer's and dementia. So one of the things that we do as part of our advocacy and education to the public is we bring a presentation, we do a cooking demonstration, we teach residents of the community anywhere. You were asking me earlier, where have we brought the presentation? We've started it in the school systems, trying to get kids on board to help whole body health as well as brain health. So I brought today a bunch of our recipes. And you know, everybody does ask, is it good? The food is great, and the recipes here that I brought today are very simple recipes. They're anything from a crunchy granola to a cookie, to a soup, to a breakfast burrito kind of thing, to salad dressings. We've kind of run the gamut with offering all sorts of different options. And I think the nice, helpful way for people is if you're having fun with it and you're cooking and it's easy, you're going to do it. You know, you're going to eat that way. So the bottom line is, if you do all of this, not just the cinnamon, not just the 2 glasses of wine, if you do this whole lifestyle change, it'll be much healthier for whole body health as well as prevention of Alzheimer's or slowing the progression down of Alzheimer's.
Could I have one of the breakfast burrito ones?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Just the recipe?
Just the recipe.
Just the recipe.
We should be doing a cooking demonstration and
that's
having
right.
samples.
So
would be
we are doing that in March.
in March, okay.
So follow-up, we're always trying to make a good thing better at senior living residents, and one of the things that we did is we added a second, a second program to this program, where we came out and explained how to do the program. Then the second program that we are bringing to you in March is Cooking for One.
That's a
And
good idea.
I think it's so proper for this demographic. A lot of people are alone, and certainly, excuse me, certainly being able to dine and cook for one is a little difficult.
And if you can cook for one, you can cook for 2.
That's
So-
right.
So if you have somebody coming over, or a guest, or a friend, or a family member.
That's right. That's exactly right. So we'll be doing that in March. Some other things innovative things that we have brought to the table from the program, and I brought them today. I have a Old Ways cooking book, and this cooking book will start anyone on a easy transition to eating this way. And we partnered with Old Ways to publish the book, and it's just an easy way for anybody to eat this way, cook this way. So I brought that. And a little early holiday gift for both of you. I brought our Brain Healthy Holiday Cookbook, so you can each learn to pick up some healthy recipes just in time for the holidays. And you can share that with your members of the COA as well.
Thank you.
I can give it to you online as well.
Awesome. Where is Old Ways based out of? Are they?
They're a Boston-based
They're a
company too,
Boston-based
but they're
as well?
nationwide.
Okay.
They've been in existence for many, many years, and they're a company that partners with different organizations like senior living residents to kind of combine both pieces together to bring healthy eating to any generation.
Your book on transition here, I think, is great, because one of my, as I've been thinking about what you've been talking about, one of the real challenges for everybody, younger and older, would be the habits that we've
Developed over the
developed
years,
for
sure.
so many years, and then transitioning, and along that line is sort of, we're a society of instant gratification. So if I transition to this, when am I going to feel better, or when am I going to
Great
be smarter,
question.
or what have you? So
Great
it-
question. So almost like you find when you start taking vitamins, they need to be in your system at least 2 to 3 weeks, so they say, before you see effects from it. We actually have done a little bit of research and found that within 30 days, you're already feeling different, you're feeling better, because we've proven through many studies that when I talk about whole body health, this can eliminate some diabetes, some insulin dependency. You can eliminate some of the medications that you're on, heart attacks, osteoporosis, because you're eating healthier and you're eating things that are going to help osteoporosis. So I would say the answer would be definitely within 30 days. And you're right, and I keep saying it is a lifestyle change. It's a way of committing to something, but you will in 30 days.
I was listening to the radio on the way up to work, I think it was last week, and National Public Radio, they had a piece on going vegetarian, but it wasn't totally going vegetarian.
Yeah.
They were talking to Kyrie Irving, of the new
Sure.
Celtic, who's doing so great, and he essentially eats vegetarian, but the interviewee was a famous chef who advocated not necessarily going totally vegetarian unless you absolutely want to, but saying if you could eat 2 or 3 vegetable-based meals per week, or if you're the type of person that feels like you have to have some type of meat or fish or chicken, that just reduce the amount, to maybe 10% rather than 30 or 40%.
And you are so right, and I'm glad you brought that up, because our plates should very much look a lot different than that they have in the past. 3/4 of the plate would really be your green leafy vegetables, your salads, your dark green veggies. That's 3/4 of the plate, and then only a small handful would be your protein, which would be your fish or your chicken. And just developing that habit is tough. But we also have proven in this, and we talk about it quite a lot, is eggs. We go back and forth. It's a small part of our pyramid here, but an egg a day is okay, according to the Mediterranean diet. And the yolk, remember we used to hear how the yolk, that cholesterol in the yolk is so poor for you, it's so bad for you. But the cholesterol that we found that you're getting out of an egg today is cholesterol that you would need for whole body health, as long as we're not having more than one a day. So,
On average.
on average, exactly.
When I make my omelets, I might use 2 or 3 eggs, but I pull the extra. I only go with 1 yolk, and then
Yep,
the
that's
additional
very
one. So
good,
hopefully
yeah.
that's good.
No, that's very good.
I read that once, so.
That's a good idea.
Right. We haven't talked about costs.
Sure.
And maybe you
It's a
could talk
great
a
question.
little bit about whether
Sure.
this type of diet is more costly, and again, part of the transition of sort of your
Sure.
budget and how you transition to this.
Sure. I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit more expensive, and I always say, but aren't you worth it? I think you are. And for our senior population, I would answer that by saying, this is a wonderful opportunity to work with a neighbor, shop with a neighbor, buy maybe bulk. We talk a lot about the shopping process and the cooking for one, being able to get food that you can freeze, buy it fresh that you can freeze, but it is more costly. And we specifically do it because, A, it's the right thing to do, and we do not incur the costs onto our residents. So because we pay more in our food budget across all 15 locations, we do not pass that money on to our residents. But yes, it is going to be a little bit more because we're suggesting that you're getting fresh vegetables, that you're not buying any processed food, you're not buying frozen foods, you're not buying, we'd rather you get the wild caught as opposed to farm fresh, so there are some costs that certainly would go up. Fish is always typically a little bit more than other things. And I think that's why we're in a generation of, at least I know my parents growing up, always with 6 kids, always tend to buy whatever was on sale. And we were just drawn to whatever meat or chicken was on sale, that's what we'd get. And we always ate the same, I don't know if you did growing up, always ate the same 7 items. Every Monday it was this, every Wednesday it was the pastas. We didn't talk too much about the pastas, but the pastas tend to be a little bit more expensive too, simply because it's whole grain pastas. Anybody eat the whole grain pastas as opposed to the whites?
Sometimes.
Okay.
No.
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 Why?
Well, my significant other has celiac, so we have to eat
Okay.
gluten-free a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't
But
have
you
a
can
lot of
get it-
pasta at
yeah.
home anyway, but
Yeah.
when I do have it, I usually
Okay.
use the regular.
You can get the gluten-free.
It tastes, I don't want to say it doesn't taste as good, but it tastes different.
It does
You
taste
have-
different.
Maybe you have to get used to the
It's
taste.
totally getting used to, and I usually say to people, try it. There's a brand by Barilla that's out now that's a half and half, and it's a good way to kind of test the waters. I just say cook it a little bit more al dente and use a little bit more sauce. That's how you would get adjusted. And then you can pull back on the sauce later on. But so, yes, it is a little bit more costly, but again, I think that we're all worth it. And I think that change and variety is a huge part of this lifestyle and way of eating. Variety is really important to our systems, so we're putting things different in our systems. We're not sticking with that every Monday through Sunday we eat the same items. And it's also very important for the digestive and depositing our food out, that variety.
I didn't see, where the pastas fall on this chart?
They're pretty much down here with whole grains.
Okay, so they're with the grain.
We don't do, an awful, we do pasta, but not a lot of it. We're more into the quinoas and, some of the different rices.
Right,
Yeah. But the bottom line is getting rid of all of the white and all of the processed foods. So no more white breads, no more white pastas or white rice. And lettuce, I'd recommend no more iceberg. Anyone still using iceberg lettuce?
I use iceberg lettuce.
And why do you use iceberg lettuce? Not to put you on the spot.
Yes, I like it. I mean, it tastes good, and it.
Okay.
We mix our lettuce in.
Good, okay.
What's the
So,
downside to iceberg?
downside is there's no nutritional value.
There's no
at
upside, I know,
all.
but is there a downside?
No, there's
Okay.
not. But what I would do is I would go start with the romaines, okay? And the dark part of the romaine is actually the healthiest part. But you like the romaine because you like that crunchy consistency.
Yeah, iceberg.
So there you go. So just cut the bottom of the romaine off and mix those, cut them very fine, chop them very fine, mix them together, and I promise you'll get off your iceberg lettuce.
We do mix, many times when we make a salad, we mix iceberg with other mixed greens and romaine lettuce, and just don't even waste our time with the iceberg, so. But it's not bad for you, it's just.
No,
there's
it's
there's
just no nutritional value.
Right, right.
And you're eating a lot more of those greens, so we want to make sure that they're nutritional.
Mary Ellen, thank you so much for coming. We have to move on to some of our COA stuff right now.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
It was wonderful.
And please feel free to stay.
Please
Sure.
feel free to say absolutely.
Are
And
these-
chime in if you hear us say something that you can correct.
May we take some, are you leaving some of this?
Yes, I
or
am. I'm
these-
going
so
to
we
leave
can-
some
because
of it for
I'm
all
getting
of the
hungry
members.
just sitting here next to all of this. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to have for lunch today,
Good.
so.
And thank you for all the recipes and the goodies you've left for us.
My
So David, you're
pleasure.
going to run through
Yeah,
some
we're going to
council.
start to go through
Right.
some of our events because we're coming up through the holidays and we've got a lot going on and people's lives are busy. So as many of you know, we do a lot of food type of events to keep people healthy here in Carlisle and also as a way of getting people together and having some good socialization. One of the things we do that is not on everybody's radar is something called a restaurant review, and it's led by one of our volunteers, Joanne Willens, who she's like a restaurant review and trip coordinator. And Joanne once a month will take people on a field trip to a restaurant, usually in another town, or unless it's Ferns. But in December coming up, she's going to be leading a trip on Monday, December 4th, to Stelio's restaurant in Billerica. And we have a van that's going to be leaving Village Court at 10:45 and Congregational Church at 11, and it'll be returning about 2 to 3 p.m. If you are interested in the restaurant review going for your very first time, or if you're a veteran of it, please call Joanne to register directly at 978-371-8023. Also, there is a play that is being led by Lillian Benedictus in December, on December 6th. It's called She Loves Me, and it's at the Greater Boston Stage Company, formerly known as the Stoneham Theater. Please call Lillian directly if you're interested in the play at 978-369-1848. The cost for the play is $37 per ticket and $5 for the van fee to Stoneham. But those plays are very popular. People that go to them really like them, and usually she arranges for lunch on your own, and the lunch that for this trip in December, on December 6th, is going to be at Gaetano's restaurant, which I'm assuming is in Stoneham, because it's usually close by.
It's usually close by.
Yeah, yeah. Also, we have some exercise programs that we want everybody to know about, and I know you've got some special events to talk about, but just to run through the exercise programs really quickly, on Mondays, we have an intergenerational tap class at FRS. That's at 1:30 p.m., and the cost for the whole program is $40, which is December?
3 months.
3 months. 3 months for $40. Can't beat the deal. And if you ever wanted to learn something different, if you ever wanted to learn a different type of dance than most people have, if you want to be your get your inner Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire out, then let us know. And the class is taught by Katrina Rotundi, who does a lot of our classes.
Yeah, she's great.
Katrina is wonderful. On Tuesdays, we have 2 classes: a Zumba Gold class, also taught by Katrina, and that is held at
St. Irene.
St. Irene's. Okay, so we really are using all 3 churches plus the town hall in Carlisle. We and the library at Carlisle. We try to
Burns.
and this and
The 2 senior housing.
exactly Village Court and Benfield. So the Tuesday classes are at St. Irene, and it's the Zumba Gold in the morning at 10:45. And then Tai Chi at 12:30, taught by Linda Sango, and the Tai Chi is a great class too. Again, these classes are $40 for 3 months worth. And if you join midway through, we prorate it for you. If you're not sure if you want to take the class and would like to take one, come and take one for free. Take it on us. We want
And
people.
if you want to see the class, you actually can go on to CCTV. There's a sample of each of the classes.
Very good, even better. Angela's our master promoter. On Wednesdays, we have a yoga class in Benfield at 9:30 and a line dancing class at St. Irene at 1:45, both taught by Katrina.
Yes.
And Thursdays, we have a fitness class here at Town Hall and a cardio boost class, which had been Congregational Church, is now back at Town Hall.
Yes.
Okay.
The fitness and cardio are at Town Hall.
And that one is the fitness is at 9:45 and the cardio boost class is at 10:45. Some people actually take both classes, Doug, in case you were wondering. I could see that twinkle in your eye. You were wondering about that.
Great.
And on Fridays, our last but not least class, we have a class on Fridays called SAMA, which is an acronym for Senior Approach to Maintaining Agility, and it's taught by Sensei Sarah Hanley,
Yep.
who's the daughter of the original instructor for the class, and that is a very innovative class. You take it.
I do take it. I love it. It's really based on flexibility and core strength and balance. And it's based on martial art moves, but it's not martial arts. It's just using their kinds of moves. And she does a lot of different exercises to really help your balance. And I've found that it really makes a big difference. It really does.
Yeah, people that take the class really love it. I will say this, Doug, when you were back in the day when you were a selectman, which wasn't that long ago, Sensei Sarah's father had asked if we could do a sword demonstration class, and I was just a little bit worried about people getting sliced up here at Town Hall, so
So we didn't allow it
we
in town
did
hall?
not really allow the.
But she
wordplay.
did do a demonstration, because she does have a martial arts dojo.
Great.
And she did do a demonstration over last summer for the people in town. Both kids and seniors came. And everyone that came left after they broke a board.
Wow.
So
Oh, wow.
that was really cool. The kids loved.
They weren't allowed to leave until they,
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
And everybody was able to do it. So we found her dad through, he was on the Boston Globe, he was written up. And then he was in Chronicle, and he was on Fox News as well. Because it seems that people who have taken his senior class had come in using walkers and left not needing them.
that's great. So that's December 8th?
That is every Friday.
Okay.
Every Friday, beginning December 8th.
Beginning December 8th for 10
Yeah,
weeks.
For
Wow.
10 weeks. It's a
So
hundred.
that's a little
$100.
bit more expensive because she comes quite a distance.
It's $100 for 10 weeks, so it's basically $10 per class. It's a little, like Angela said, it's a little more expensive. And we should say also that although these are fee-based classes, if somebody really wants to take the class and they just feel like they can't afford it, we'll
go to our friends.
We'll go to our friends group. We'll try to subsidize the class for somebody. We really don't want to exclude anybody from the classes.
And we have done that.
Yeah, we have done that plenty of times.
For all the classes.
Right. I don't want to exclude
Okay.
your wonderful announcements, so.
All right, so let me just quickly talk about some of our regular lunches. We have a Chelmsford Crossing lunch. Minuteman Senior Services has joined forces with Chelmsford Crossing to provide one meal a month, which is hosted by one of our 3 churches. And we do a program after that. And the one in December is on December 6th. And we're going to have Mary Clark, who is an opera singer, come and perform. Her husband is a singing trooper, and we had him last year. And then our holiday meal will be on December 21. We have Santa coming. We have gifts for every senior that shows up, thanks to Trader Joe's. And we're going to have a lovely meal. And then on December 7th, we have our monthly coffee at Village Court. The men's breakfast is the following Thursday on December 14th. You should come some
Absolutely.
Thursday morning. They have a big breakfast, and we do it at 8, so guys who do work can come.
Sometimes the police department sends a couple
Yeah,
guys.
usually Chief Fisher comes.
I've come occasionally, but not recently, but it's a great time.
And then we go to Ferns on the 2nd and 4th Mondays of the month, but in December, because of holidays, we're only doing it on the 11th. And then we go to Neshoba Tech, and we do their culinary arts program, and we have a lunch with them every month. And then we also have our different community conversations, and that's a program that we do in concert with a volunteer. And in January, we're going to have a program on computer skills taught by Bob Sutnick. And Bob used to be a vice president for Digital Equipment Corporation. He's also one of our volunteers, so if you call and you're looking for your computer to be fixed because you don't feel like you can afford a computer specialist, then Bob will show up at your house and fix it. And we also have our ballroom dancing teacher is going to people's homes and doing private lessons
Wow.
free of charge. So if you're having a wedding coming up or a special bar mitzvah and you want to know how to dance,
Wow,
then
that's
we
terrific.
have somebody that will teach you. And we have a new volunteer who's helping people with their cell phones. So if you want to know how to clear your cell phone and turn it in, which we give to Minuteman, or you want to know how to use your cell phone or get the best plan for your money. You're finding it's too expensive, he'll help you with that. And then we have our social hour, which we actually have today, and it will be on December 11th. We have a community book group. We have 2 knitting programs, one where we knit for the homeless in Boston, and ones where you can go to the library and knit twice a month and bring whatever you want, and we have people who teach you to knit and will help you with your projects. And then we're doing our first mental illness support group. So this is for all families of any age. We had Mara Briere from Certified Family Life, and she was here for, I think, our last CCTV. And we asked her, could she do something for us? And so she's going to try a support group for us and see whether we have anybody that wants to participate. So we hope people do. And we want to let people know, if they haven't already, if they need help with fuel assistance, we will help them with fuel assistance, with food assistance. So if you're feeling like you're going to be struggling this winter, we have a number of different ways to help with fuel assistance. There's the state plan, we have the Salvation Army, we have help through our friends, and even the town has some money that we can pull from.
You just touched upon something that the support group, and I wanted to mention, it reminded me of something, and that's that some people might be curious about the community needs health assessment that was that online survey that was advertised last March and April. And our steering committee for that, we got the results back from UMass Boston, who was conducting the research, and a steering committee met last Thursday, and I believe that they got the okay to put it up on the website, the results of the survey. So if it's not up on the website, it will be soon. And we had about, I want to say, 485 respondents to the survey. Out of our town is what, about 5,500. So it's a 14% return, I think, which they say for surveys is not bad. I'm not a survey expert, but it was a lot of questions, and so the document has an executive summary if you don't want to read through the whole 80 pages of it, but just want to look at the first 5 or 6 pages. It gives the big picture. But then you can go through the questions one by one, and it has responses to things like social isolation, traffic concerns, transportation concerns, other concerns. I mean, there's a lot of positive results, as you might expect from the lifestyle in Carlisle. But, everybody's got concerns of one thing or another.
Sure. Angela, you mentioned fuel assistance and the upcoming winter, and I know the Council on Aging does a lot of activities and a lot of sport. Are there any other weather-related services? I mean, I don't know, if snow shoveling or those types of things that seniors can get help with?
We have a contractor list that we can't recommend contractors, but if you belong to City in the Woods, you see the blogs where people ask, who can I go to? So we do ask people who they like, and we capture that and we provide that out for people. We don't have anyone right now that does snow shoveling for free. We have had both the Congregational Church, one of the 6th grade classes is helping with yard work, so they're doing some raking and some help with that, and a couple of families. We also have FRS is helping a few families we've identified with bringing sand for the winter. If somebody has something that they need, we'll definitely try to find somebody to help them. We do also have not just fuel assistance, but there's a special needs registry. So you can fill out a form with the fire department, and I'm actually the one that calls you. So if you lose your electricity, you get to hear me checking in to make sure you're okay. And if not, then David's on the emergency planning committee.
As was Doug during his time as a selectman, and it's a good group because when we have major storms anticipated or that catch us unexpectedly, then from the list that's created, which are the emergency planning committee through Dave Flannery, our fire chief, maintains. Angela and our other staff members actually do call people, and if necessary, we'll send people, police out
The
to do.
police will go check on people.
Check on people, right.
Did you activate services during this windstorm that we had a couple weeks ago?
No,
Where there was
we did not. We did get that notification kind of on the late side about that wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of came in unexpectedly, but I know there was some power outages around town. I don't think it
Right.
was as bad
Well,
as
we did check on people after the fact,
Right.
but it was,
Yeah, we weren't totally aware.
that's right.
Yeah, it came in, I think it came in and surprised all of
Right,
us,
right.
what happened there. So.
There is a service that is actually on the, I believe it's the second page of our newsletter, that we advertise consistently through the police department called the Are You OK program.
Yep.
The letter R, U, O, and K. And it's a software that the police have that we will get registrations for people that may be living alone that would like a daily checkup. And what they do is they set up an automated call, and it's at a time of the day that the person wants to receive it. And the way it works is if they're there, they respond, and they don't need to do anything else. But if they don't respond, then I think there's a protocol that happens. And
Well, the system automatically dials 3 times, and if you don't respond by the 3rd time, then an individual police officer will call, and if you still don't respond, they'll send a car.
And by respond, you mean just answer the phone?
Right,
and
just
it-
answer
it-
the
it
phone. As long
recognizes.
as you pick it up and hang it up, you're okay.
And is your voice taped on that, Angela?
Yes,
Good.
unfortunately.
No, that's good. I think people would much rather hear your friendly voice than some of these other automated voices we get in the robocalls. So,
And, we try to do some other things for people in terms of their health. We have blood pressure at least 4 times a month. So we have it at the Chelmsford Crossing lunch, at our coffee, at the men's breakfast, and at our COA lunch. We do a podiatry clinic every other month at Benfield. We even have haircuts in this room. We do that every 6 weeks, and we negotiated a special deal with 2 hairdressers, so people get to get a really good haircut at a low discount price.
and as Mary Ellen was saying, for the exercise, we have an indoor walking.
Yes, we do have indoor walking at the school. You just have to let Dave Flannery know so that the school will be open for them.
Looks like
I say-
we've hit our time.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, so we got a few minutes left to go. I say this frequently, but every time I get your newsletter or I pull it up online, I am very, very impressed with the amount of activities and opportunities that, as a town, and specifically the both of you and your board and staff offer to the folks in this community. And it's, I look at this and say, my father, after he retired, he got involved in a lot of things. He said, boy, I don't know how I ever had time to go to work. Well, you look at this list and you say to seniors in town who may be retired, and if they tried to keep up with at least some percentage of these activities, I don't know how they would have ever had time to go to work. So this is great.
And if they don't want to participate in these things, if they feel like they're still too young, then we're always looking for volunteers. And if you have a skill, then we'll find a use for it.
Even volunteering to produce this cable show. We have volunteers that learn how to use the equipment.
Right.
We have volunteers like Doug who become hosts.
We have volunteers that drive people. We have people that deliver Meals on Wheels. We have people that help with our programs. We have people that help set up at our events.
We have people that create news labels for our newsletters.
Right.
We can think of something for you to do if you have some time on your hands.
It's just so nice that you're helping people to live in their own homes for as long as they can with plenty of activity. I say every group that I meet from COA, the best thing you can do is get out to your COAs and get involved and maintain a busy schedule. It's so important. So kudos to all of you for all of your programming. It's amazing. Amazing.
Thanks, Mary Ellen.
Thank you.
Was there anything, I'm sorry for cutting you off
No,
before. Was there
please.
anything that you wanted to say that we didn't cover?
Not at all. I think we did it well. Just remember, you've got your bracelet on, so if
Okay.
you want to start today,
Feed your brain, not my stomach.
there you go.
One of the things I said to Mary Ellen early on before the show was that we should be advocating this type of healthy eating, not just for seniors and through the senior living centers, but as she mentioned, through
never too
schools
old or
high-
young.
because once as we all noted, you develop habits that probably stick with you, bad habits and some good habits that stick with you through much of your life. And just since I think we do have a couple minutes left, one of the questions I had was how, let's say you decide you want to commit to this level of diet, how often can you cheat?
I think if you're going to cheat and you know you're a sugar person and you're going to eat one of those tiny little Hershey Kisses, stick with the dark chocolate. That happens to be the healthiest if you have to. So, a cheating here and there is okay. You just don't want to get off the Ponderosa and really get your system changed to a big bad meal, and then you just are satisfied and you go back to that way of eating. Small cheats are okay.
Okay. I've
We're
never
only
been
human.
able to eat one chocolate kiss at a time.
But you know what? You just don't buy them then.
That's right.
Shopping habits.
Okay, so again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Marilyn. We really appreciate all of this information. We look forward to you coming back in March.
Right, in March, Mary Ellen's doing one of our community conversations, and next month for CCTV, we have Minuteman Senior Services
Right.
coming and joining us.
Great. That'll
Great
be
group.
a great show as well. So thank you again, Angela and David, and for all you do, including helping promote this through
Thanks, Doug.
CCTV. And it's like I said, it's always an honor and a pleasure to be here and just chatting with you and learning more about what you're doing for our fine community. So,
And we'd like to thank CCTV for producing our show, and also
Absolutely.
for our volunteers. Today it's Bill Churchill. Thank you.
thank you, Bill.